Search engine optimization is great, but let me ask you a question. What if it didn't exist? What if you had to build a business without SEO and without getting traffic from SEO and getting any conversions from SEO? What would you do? How would you go about doing that? Well, the web has really evolved, and there's so many different tools out there in people's toolboxes if they just know how to tap into them, if they know how to use the right one. So today, I'm going to answer the question, and I'm going to walk through a couple examples and tell a few stories of how could you build a business 100% without search engine optimization. What if it didn't exist? Let's go ahead and dive into it. Before you get started, make sure to click the notification bell and make sure to subscribe so that you can get more videos like this in the future. Okay, so first thing I want to do is just start with a couple different scenarios, just so you understand where I'm going with this. Well, first, I know somebody who's built an $8 million business just off of renting email lists. So what does that mean? Well, when somebody has a big email list, they go to this person and they say, hey, you know, you've got an email list of 100,000 subscribers. What if I gave you $1,000 to advertise on a blast or to do a dedicated blast with my product? They have built an $8 million business consistently just off of that channel, finding different lists to advertise on. I also know somebody, number two, who has built a $2 million business with excellent net income around the 80% range just by doing dynamic search ads. So when somebody does a search, they essentially put the keyword in there that relates to that search inside of Google Ads, and they advertise a bunch of different web pages on their site. It's incredibly inexpensive, so it's allowed them just to generate more and more traffic back to a website. I also know a person who makes over $2,500 a day just on their podcast. So they charge people to be on their podcast, and we're seeing a lot of people doing this now. So they're just making $2,500 a day just off of people advertising on their podcast. And that's just the basic stuff. They've built whole masterminds off of the podcast. They've built groups off of the podcast. So really, it's more like a $10, $20 million business, not just the $2,500 a day. Here is my point. There are so many different ways to make money online right now, and search engine optimization is not the only way. So search engine optimization, super important for really big enterprise level websites. It's a very important part of the marketing mix, but what if it didn't exist? What if it wasn't there at all? How would you go about doing it? So today, I'm gonna walk you through 5 different things that you can do instead of SEO to grow a business online, and I'm gonna walk you through some of the modern things that you can do as well. So let's go ahead and take a look. So first thing is Shopify. Just think about Shopify for a second, right? Think about being an e-commerce brand. You're an e-commerce brand, you're entering the market. Sure, search engine optimization is really important, but what other options do you have? I just want you to look at Shopify's integration, okay? First thing, they've got a new point of sale tool. So this new point of sale tool is something where you can just give it to somebody, you know, they complete the transaction, and then that goes right into your Shopify backend. It's all integrated, right? So there's one way that you can make money just through in person. But in addition to that, Shopify integrates with Pinterest, it integrates with Facebook Shop, it integrates with Instagram, and it integrates with WhatsApp. So what does that mean? Well, with the Shopify center area, right, as your website platform, you can be selling with Pinterest promoted pins and with Pinterest Shop on Facebook, on Instagram, on WhatsApp, and then also you can create a feed from Shopify and you can be selling through Google Shopping, okay? So when you look at that, that's 5 different places outside of normal search engine optimization where you could be building a business, where you could be advertising, where you could be setting up a good cost per acquisition. In addition to that, you can also sell your products on Amazon, Target, Walmart, Alibaba, eBay, Craigslist, for example. There's all these different distributed commerce areas where you could be selling outside of SEO. Item number 2, social media. You can easily build a business 100% off of social, and that's no surprise. So that's through building up a great community, that's through doing advertising, that's through using all the different channels out there, such as TikTok, which ads are incredibly inexpensive right now, and is a very easy place to get a lot of distribution, whether it's through the advertising or just by creating creative content. Facebook, going live, stories, groups, pages, profiles. YouTube, very similar, ads, videos, stories. LinkedIn also, right? And through each of these platforms, there's also the option to DM people or go through outbound, and also doing stories, IGTV, live on Instagram, and then also on LinkedIn, with LinkedIn having this huge reach right now. So if you work each one of these platforms incredibly hard and put a good amount of effort into it, you can determine a cost per acquisition and you can get a lot of business from these platforms. And I'll tell you, I personally will get business from every single one of these platforms right here, except for TikTok, which is brand new. Item number 3, email marketing. So building up your email list, building up your push list, building up your chat list through Facebook Messenger, through ManyChat. You can build, and I have seen entire businesses built off of each one of these channels right here that have been very successful. Item number 4, acquire. So you have the option to buy groups, and a lot of people out there, they'll find a Facebook group with hundreds of thousands of members and they'll buy it for tens of thousands of dollars. And it can be a great community that they can advertise to and that they can use the connections in there to build a business. Email lists, you can acquire those as well. Websites, if you have a website in your space that gets hundreds of thousands of visitors a month, they have the traffic that you want, they have the social communities, they have the email lists, they have, the SEO, even though we're trying to work around SEO in this one, but they have the SEO, you can acquire that, and that can be much less expensive in some cases than building up all the traffic yourself, because that can take quite a bit of time. Also, buying businesses, podcasts, these type of things can make a huge difference. For example, we know that Spotify recently bought the Joe Rogan podcast for $100 million. Why do they do that? Well, when they bring that content onto their platform and it's exclusive on their platform, it makes it so that people want to use their platform. They just brought over a huge, massive audience. It makes total sense for them, right? It's very similar to what Sirius Satellite Radio did with the Howard Stern Show. With the Howard Stern Show, that built that entire platform. And that's why it's so important that these sites acquire assets. It's the same type of thing for you. You want to get the audience, you want to get the attention. It's a big reason why TikTok is probably heavily invested in Gary Vee building up his millions of followers, and why everybody who builds a social site tries to get him involved early on so that they can get the eyeballs. The point is, forget them, think about you. How do you get the audience on your side? How do you get their attention and capture that so that you can advertise to them on a consistent basis? Item number 5, there have been businesses built 100% off of a PR strategy. So finding all the major news publications out there, finding all the major podcast publications out there, essentially drawing a map of every single place that your customer is, coming up with a pitch, getting their contact information and pitching every single one, and consistently getting picked up on these publications. You can build excellent referring site traffic, excellent buzz. You can create a lot of business just through PR. Now, finally, one bonus item I have for you right here is advertise. So if you don't have the ability to do all these different things, there's always the option just to simply find all the places online where your customers are, and then put your website in the middle and develop a cost per acquisition strategy for every single one. So how much is it going to cost you to acquire business on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on YouTube, by buying a Facebook group, by advertising on TikTok, by spending $5,000 to $20,000 a month on PR, right? By setting out DMs and DMing people on a consistent basis if you're on the B2B side, right? Anything that you do here, you can build a business model around. So what I really want everybody to take home is this is probably about 80%, if not 60% of what you can do online right now to acquire customers. There are so many tools in our toolbox now. SEO, search engine optimization, is still one of the most important ones. It's a fantastic thing and it should be a big chunk of the marketing mix. But don't forget about all the other amazing ways out there that you can build a business. If you like this video, make sure to leave a comment, like, comment, subscribe. I love hearing from you. See you next time. Bye.